Uncle Tim's. It's all good.
So this is the pond where I had pigs all last summer and clear into February, and then there's been nothing in there since then. So this is June 1st, so the end of February, so that's all of March, April, and May. So 3 full months with nothing on it, and I did throw some grass seed in just before I moved the pigs out. And you can see we've got all this stuff growing right here. I mean, that's like 4 feet tall. This thick, lush green grass that's underneath it here. It's growing all over the place. It's all grown up in here, just thick everywhere. I'm about to put some pigs back in here. But this is what pigs can do for ground. They can make it really fertile. So right now I'm cleaning off a spot here. I'm gonna put my pig feeder over here, so I'm gonna put down a slab to put the feeder on so that they can stand up out of the mud to feed. Because last year when they were in here, they ended up just standing up to almost their belly deep in mud around the feeder. So this time I'm going to pour a slab and then put the feeder on top of it. So I've got a area I want to put down, a 12-foot long by 4-foot wide slab here, and then I'll set the feeder on top of it, and then that way they'll be able to, even if it gets muddy in here, they'll be able to stand up out of the mud to feed, because the feeder will get the most impact. But then this pond here has held water right up to the level that the pigs could get to. Right there at the bottom of the fence, that's as high as they could get, and that's exactly how high the pond is. The highway right-of-way comes right to there, so I can't go any farther up or farther out towards the road. I wish I could, because then I could get this pond deeper than it is, but right there is as deep as it'll go for now. I mean, I guess probably that's as deep as it's gonna go, right to where those pigs could get. But it's held water all summer. This pond hadn't held water in the 50 years that it had been here. And we put those pigs in, and within just a month it started holding water, and it's holding steady. But I want to give you a good look at the fertility that pigs can do for ground. When I moved them out of here, this was just bare ground. I mean, there was nothing in here. It was all, because I had pigs in there for 9 months and they just had gotten this down right down to bare ground. But right as I moved them out, I put down a bunch of seed, and you can see it's within 3 months, it's just lush, thick grass. I mean, green. We've got a lot of weeds coming up in here too, but over time, if a person was to mow this and manage it and run cattle on it, those weeds would go away. But because of where this is, this will just be a pig pen. It works pretty good. Got this pond here to give them water and a place to cool off, and then they can eat on all this vegetation. And then once they get it all wore down, I go ahead and move them out, put them in a different location, and then give this a rest and bring them back. So eventually my plan is to be able to rotate the pigs around on the cattle pasture. And of course I wouldn't leave them near as long on that ground like I did on this, but rotate them through the pasture there, let them kind of muck the ground out a little bit, add some fertility, throw down some grass seed and move them out, and then let that rest, and then be able to bring the cattle in behind them and graze something like this behind them. You could definitely finish cattle on that right there. Anyhow, it's looking good, and I'll try to keep you posted or updated. I'll try to get some video of me getting this slab. I'm going to try to do just a dry pour. Be the simplest way to do it. Put down a dry slab and just water it, and then once it's hardened up, go ahead and get the feeder moved over here and go from there. I got the slab started. That's 11 80-pound bags of Quickcrete, and I have 11, oh no, that's 14 bags. So that's 8-foot by 4-foot slab right there so far. And then I've got another 11 bags to go, so I'll extend it out on both ends. Get it out to at least 12 feet long, about 4 inches deep, somewhere along there. All those bags, 14 bags there, and 11 more to go. And this is where the feeder's gonna go. Set it up on there, and that way the pigs will be able to, it'll keep the feeder up out of the mud, and the pigs will be able to stand up and eat out of the mud as well. Or at least their front end. I don't know if it's gonna be quite long enough for them to fit their whole length of their body on there, but at least their front end will be up out of the mud. Anyhow, that's what we're doing today, and man, it is hot today. Got 2 piglets sold. I have another customer coming at noon, another hour or so. Whew, I'll be glad when this job is done, because it is really hot and still here. Very still, no air moving hardly. Whew. Well, now there's a breeze. Oh, that feels good. Anyhow, stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. I got all 25 bags down, and it's probably close to 14, 15 feet long. So now the pigs should be able to get their full length up on there. I got the center part nice and flat. The rest of it's a little rough, but it's for pigs, so I don't think they'll mind too much. Now I need to go sell a couple of piglets and then come back and start watering this. This should work. And then later on in the week, or I guess this is the end of the week, next week, I'll get that feeder moved over here once this has had a chance to harden. Get it all set up, and I'll show you what that's going to look like. Okay, I've got the 2 parts of the feeder over here and unloaded. Now I just need to get that big tote put up inside there. So I'll catch up with you in a few minutes. Hopefully it won't take me too long to get it up in there. Be right back. Alright, I got it up there. It wasn't too difficult. I'm just barely out of breath. So I got the feeder sitting on the slab. Of course I'll have to slide it out of the way to put this panel, close this panel back up. I swung that in just to make it easier to work in here. But I'll go ahead and slide this over, swing that panel back closed, and then I'll have to get a tie down strap that tote down just so the pigs don't push it off of there if it gets low. But this is ready to go, ready for some pigs. Fill it up right there, be able to pull right up here, back up right up to the fence, and then I've got a little step stool, be able to stand up and just pour the feed right in the top there. Take the blue lid off and fill it up, and it will be ready for pigs. There's going to be 6 pigs in here, possibly. Of course, they're just be weanlings, so they're 8 weeks old today. By the time I get them in here, it'll probably be this weekend, so they'll be 9 weeks old, and they should all be able to fit on the 2 sides there. So just fill it up with feed, and they'll be able to eat to their little heart's content on both sides. Plus they have all this vegetation, these big old tall oats, thick growing in here. There are just tons of vegetation. They will be able to eat and eat for weeks in here. Get this all cleaned up. Those oats are thick. Oof. And then there's some lush green grass down in underneath. Of clover. Of course, there's weeds mixed in here, some thistle, but yep, they will have plenty to eat for a long time. Alright, I guess I'll get some more video, give you an update once I get it all set up and get the piglets moved in here, but this is just about ready to go. Alright, see you later. Bye.